customer attraction know-how.
Hey everybody, we're back. Part 2 of the 45-minute sales funnel. Waiting on Jake right now. He's having a few, I think, connection issues. We're going to check over here and says where he's at. So we'll kind of just move on. Jake and I have been in contact in and out all week going over how we're going to build this, what we're going to do. So we only have an hour total show, and this is the 45-minute sales funnel. So I think we better just jump right in. You should be seeing my screen at this time, and we're starting with an example of the top layer, which is the attraction part of the sales funnel. Last week we went over several different options, several different ways to attract people to your funnel. The ones that we're going to be offering today and talking about today, since we all kind of agreed last week that this was going to be based on more of a guerrilla kind of campaign, low budget. We're not going to be looking into Google pay-per-click as much, Facebook ads, this, that, and the other. We're going to be doing some of the more organic methods. So as a reminder, those can consist of blog posts, social media sharing, which would be Facebook posting, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google+, Pinterest, just depending on what type of service, product, whatever you're working with. Blog posting, guest blogging, going to forums, working within Facebook groups, as Jake mentioned last week. All of those are different things that we can do in the attraction stage. Now, where we left off and what we had started to build and what this episode is all about today is from that point, where do they go? So the biggest part is that attraction and that captivate stage. So we're going to delve in a little bit to what makes a good Facebook post, but we're going to have an episode strictly about social posting coming up. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. There's a ton of cool free content out there online that you can just go into Google and literally search Facebook post, what makes a good Facebook post, social sharing. HubSpot.com's got unbelievable amount of awesome content for internet marketing, digital marketing. If you're not familiar with HubSpot, you need to go check them out. They have a lot of free PDFs, free tutorials, free everything's free with them as far as the information. The service that they have is far from free, but their content is free and it's great. So talking about that attraction stage, we're going to go ahead and kind of squeeze these two together, the attract and the captivate stage all in one. And we're going to talk about what makes a good Facebook post and what doesn't. The first thing is you always have to have a picture, some sort of image. Video is always great, but not for what we're really dealing with now. So image is number one. You want to keep it short. You want to be informative, but yet be very, very careful that you're not writing a book. If you see the little link that says see more, stay away. That is not a good thing. So we need to, hey, hang on just a second. I just got a message from Jack that says you can't see the screen. So hang tight just a second. Let's get the screen share first before we get too much crazier. I must not have hit something I needed to hit. Hold tight just a second. All right. Let's start that and see what happens. Okay. That should take care of it. It's a good thing we didn't really have anything on my screen super important to take a look at yet. All right. So that should take care of the problem. Let me send Jack a quick message to see if it took care of it. And it should have. All right, we're going to go ahead as it did. You guys can always catch back up. Nothing hurt. So we're talking about Facebook posts. Picture, absolutely necessary. Be creative, cool copy, something short, to the point, but that gets the word out. And it sounds pretty easy, but again, there's a whole episode that we're going to do on what makes a good Facebook post and how to do it, how to be creative. Here at Brick Road, we literally have a team meeting once a week, and there's times where we talk about just nothing more than Facebook posting and the different types of headlines, the different types of things that we need to be creative in a post. Because when you're talking about spending the kind of money that people are spending on Facebook ads and the type of followings that some of these have, it can be the difference of a couple words or a little bit of a phrase that has a conversion ratio or an opt-in ratio that is 20% different. So it really does get down to the nitty-gritty. And what did we learn last week? Analytics, which is next week. You'll learn what works, what doesn't by testing it, putting it out there, tracking the analytics on it, and see what's working, what's not. All right, so here's an example on your screen you should have of a Facebook post that we did actually for Jake. Now, nothing has started on Jake's funnel. None of the marketing, none of the advertising, nothing started. We'll do any of that until today's show when everybody starts and watches at the same time. So our copy person in the office, Katie, came up with this. So let's read through it. It says, want to know all the ins and outs of being a successful breeder? Does that catch attention? I think it does. Check out Jake's new book, Breeding Bullies, the top 5 tricks to a successful breed. In it, you're going to learn the tricks and tips Jake has used in the past in order to create and continue to grow his bulldog breeding business. Check it out here. So this is the link. This is the link, the one big monster link that everything we just talked about in the attraction and the captivate options, the blog post, the Facebook post, the Twitter, the blah, 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 all of that's going to link to this link right here. So whether you're using a button in a blog post so that you can hide the long part of the link, you're using a link shortener, however it is, that's the link that it's going to send it to. So we'll get back to that in just a second. Let's go over another option here, because what we did right there is we just literally took and clipped out the actual bulldog book page out of the entire ad. This would be an example of a blog posting ad or a Facebook ad. I would totally use this in a Facebook ad. And again, run 2 or 3 of them at the same time, change the heading around, change the bullet points, change the download image. You never know what's going to work perfectly until you try 2 or 3 different examples and then check the analytics on it. I'm going to start sounding like a broken record with that, but that's okay, because in this case, you've got to hear that over and over and over and over and over, because the biggest thing that I find small businesses forgetting or just out and out ignoring is the analytics piece. This is like a guess and check math problem, but you've got to do the checking. You can't just keep guessing and keep guessing and keep guessing and wonder if it's working or not. Every step along this funnel needs to be tracked, needs to be analyzed on a regular basis and changed so that you're always working towards a better conversion rate. And if you're not to your benchmark, you're always wanting to keep working until you get to the benchmark. Once you've got to the benchmark, you need to move your benchmark up. There is no such thing as too good or too big of a conversion rate. If you're not at 100%, keep working at it. So these are some of the examples. Now, I'm going to go ahead and jump in very, very briefly, because guess what? There will be an episode on this too. Facebook ads. It's one of my favorite topics, my favorite things. The people in the office are so sick of hearing me talk about Facebook ads and all the cool stuff I'm doing with them, but they'll get over it. Anyway, I'm going to give you guys a quick sneak peek at the coolest tool there ever has been invented within Facebook, in my opinion, which is called the Power Editor. For those of you who have not heard of the Power Editor is basically the Facebook ads section, the ad builder, on steroids for 2 years. It is huge. It's pretty cool. They redesigned it here recently, so those of you who have used it before and got really frustrated, like I did the first few times, they've changed it around now, and it's much more user-friendly. So let's click on that and just take a real brief look in this section. So here we have these 3 big headings up here: campaigns, ad sets, and ads. All of your ads, all of your sets, that's the part re-engineered, made it a lot smoother. It looks and works much easier now. The key to Power Editor is to make sure you download every time, because it's downloading the changes from Facebook. This is an app that you can get off the Chrome store if you're using Google Chrome. If you're not using Google Chrome, I hope it's Firefox. And if you're not using Firefox or Google Chrome, I'm assuming you're using Internet Explorer if you're not an Apple person. And if you're using Internet Explorer, go to google.com/Chrome and download Chrome and never look at the big E again. So back to Chrome store. Download the Power Editor. You can use this little cool tool down here, which is like all your all your Google apps. You can put them all in here. So you're going to hit the Power Editor. You're going to be in here. Download the Power every time. Right off the bat, don't look, don't do anything. Download Power Editor, put some information in. Changes, deletes, new, blah, 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 blah. Whatever you've done, you got to go up here and click Upload Changes. There's your quick 1-2 as far as the Facebook Power Editor. More to come, future episode. But for now, let's talk about a quick ad. Let's just look at one that I'm pretty excited about. I've got to be honest, I kind of dropped the ball over the weekend. I'd planned on coming into work and working on it. Didn't happen. And then it didn't happen on Monday. And Tuesday, late in the day, almost the evening, I finally started running the Facebook ad for this show. And for whatever reason, it's not clicking. So anyway, we'll get there in a second. Oh, good old, here I am bragging about Chrome. And what happens? Lo and behold, the Chrome. Okay, so we're in the ads. It's processing along. And here is the part to today's webisode that we were going to do. I had an ad bid of 55 cents, and I'm shooting for New York and New Jersey. And we're just going to take a peek at it real quick if it gets done processing. If not, we're going to move on and save this for the episode that we're going to do. Okay. We may just have to move on. Irritating. So, yeah, it's waiting. I'm not. Moving forward. Attraction piece, captivate piece. We're going to put an end to that. Each one of those sections, we will have future stuff coming up on so that we can really dive in big time, do all the different methods and all the different ways to attract and bring people into your funnel. Where do they go? We've got a couple of the sales funnel that we can go over. Of course, we're overachievers here, Jake and I, so we were going to shoot for the longest one and the most successful one, but it does take a little more work. So let's look at the link and where does it take you. I'm going to introduce you in just a second to the coolest tool outside of Facebook Editor that I've used in the last 6 months. And I'm also going to fill you in on how you can use it too. Once again, I'm not a coder. I'm not a graphics design person. I'm not a copywriter. But this tool doesn't make you be any of those. I was able to do all this today. So you should see on your screen, which is the first page that we're going to go over, which is the freebie page, or the give to get page, or the you can call it a number of different things. It really doesn't matter what you call it, as long as you know it's the first touch point in your funnel. Remember last week, if you didn't listen, there's a link. Go listen to it so you can catch up. Last week we talked about give to get. The law of reciprocity. People feel much more willing to give you when you give them, for lack of better ways of putting it. So when you send somebody directly to a, hey, Facebook ad, check this out, it's a product. Voila, send you to a sales page. You expect them to buy. We've missed that engagement section. The captivating section kind of starts falling into the engagement. If we do that, it is one way of doing it. There have been successful people doing it, especially if it's a product that is kind of a no-brainer product maybe. But I'm still a huge fan of that stage of getting to know you a little bit. They need to trust you. People buy from people they trust, people they like. Well, how do they get to know you, your product, your service, your page, your business, your whatever, until they have figured out, yes, you are the authority. Yeah, you're a pretty cool guy too, or girl, and you know what the heck you're talking about. So we've got to get that authority, the liking, and the trusting down. And the best way to do that is to come up with something that you give them for free in trade for their information that you want. And at this point in time, what do you want from them minimally to take them to the next stage? The answer to that is name and email address. It can be first name only is my favorite. Right now, we're still kind of in that, dating stage, so to speak. We don't really know each other too well. We're just going to kind of go out and have coffee kind of thing, as a crazy analogy. So we don't want to get too much information. You're not asking for name, address, social security number, any of that stuff at this point. No matter what you're selling, you're asking for name and email address. Okay, so we've got this page. Let's go over it real fast. We've got our logo. If you remember from last week, logo needs to be small. Identify your company, identify you, but not be the center of attention. What is the center of attention? The benefits. Benefits, benefits, benefits. What are the benefits? What are you going to know? So we talk about inside you will learn. Now, ebook. Could have called it an ebook. Ebook, and that term kind of went out with a foxtrot. So leave that out of it. People really don't engage too well with ebooks anymore. So let's just leave it what it is. What is this? Well, it's a piece of material. It's a digital piece. Could be a book that's going to send in the mail. Nobody knows at this point, which is even more intriguing. So what are they going to learn? What's the benefit? Inside, you're going to learn. Now, I threw these kind of off the cuff. Jake's going to have to look at these before we make this live and see if this is what's going to be included in his book. And by the way, Jake found out not too long ago that he was going to develop this book. So that's what happens when you work with me, Jake. You find out you got all kinds of stuff you got to do. So the top 5 tricks to a successful breed are know when your bully's in heat. Not sure if that's going to be in or not, but what temperature is right for the litter, what if babies fail to latch, plus much more needed information about breeding bulldogs. So what you want to ask yourself when you're building this is, if I was on the other end of this, would this captivate me? Would this attract me? Would this make me engage, make me want to say, heck yeah, I need to know that. I've got a male, I got a female, I'm getting ready to put them together. I need to know this stuff so that I have a successful breed and don't lose a bunch of the litter, right? So if you answer that question, yes, I'm intrigued, then great. Move on to the next step. You've got it down. So we have 2 different action items here. The download now, which pretty much tells them that's some sort of a downloadable. Several breeders have already downloaded this report. Maybe a bit of a stretch since we haven't created the book yet, but that's okay. By the time this page launches, we're going to send it out on a private thing to some of his breeders that he knows, so that will be true. We don't ever want to lie blatantly in any of these pages. Okay, so send me the free report. Let's click it, see what happens, and hope it still works. Did earlier. Get instant access now. I put in my email address. Let's go. We click. Now, we're going to introduce next. This is now moving into the next part, which is the thank you page. Put very simply, this is a transition page that thanks them for their interest in the mail that they're getting ready to get, the ebook. I didn't even look at, I used the term ebook. Bad, shame on me. Next, we're going to then look at, where do they go? They put in their email address, right? Where it's taking them, as you'll see here, this is MailChimp. You can use any email autoresponder type software you want. Our preference, we like MailChimp. My partner likes he uses that quite a bit. One of my clients is just absolutely a constant contact. It doesn't matter. They all pretty much do the same thing. Go with the one that you like the best. My preference, again, MailChimp. So here we are. We are in the list section of MailChimp. And guess what? Yes, there will be an episode forthcoming with email marketing. So we're not going to go into any of these very, very deep right now. We're going to put the funnel together, all the pieces of it, and then we'll go into much more detail at a later time on each one of these pieces. So here we are, list. He just put in, me being him, the email address, Jeremy, at brickroadmedia.com, came to here. Now, from here, we're going to then start an autoresponder, which triggers when they fill out that form that says, yes, I want the ebook. It triggers them to start their campaign in the autoresponder, and the first email they're going to get is one that has the attachment or the link of the PDF, the actual book that they asked for. Now, what we're going to do to get them to go to the next step, the sales page, right, is two things. Number one, I'm getting ready to show you in just a second, which is from the thank you page that it took them to. But we're also going to include that link, taking them to that product in the autoresponder. That way we're getting two possible shots at getting them to the part that we want the most, which is the conversion, converting them. Now, this is the first stage of conversion. You've converted them into a download. Okay? That's important because that's engagement. That is showing that somebody has gotten through the first couple steps of your funnel. Things are starting to work. Your conversion rates are starting to show at this point. So you've gotten from, everything's metric driven. So you're going from the top of the funnel, which is how many maybe clicks we a good number to talk about. So you're going from clicks, maybe impressions, all that stuff will come up in the social and the Facebook episodes. So we take those numbers, and we know at some point we're going to have this down to a science to where we know exactly how many clicks, how many impressions that lead to clicks, how many clicks does it take in downloads. Just because they click it doesn't mean they're going to go ahead and download it. When they click it, they download it. If they don't, that's part of the analytics part we're going to talk about. What do we do there? Each step and each section of this is, if we do it properly, is able to be gone back over and find out where our numbers aren't working out. So, for example, if you had 100 clicks and nobody downloaded the book, what's that saying? It's saying quite possibly that your ad was really good. Something in that attraction and captivation stage was great. You got 100 people to click on it. But when they came to that landing page that said, put your email in, they froze up and said no. So now at least you've honed it in. You don't have to go back and rework the ad necessarily unless your goal was 500 and you only got 100. So you need to go back and you work on that page, the one that didn't convert them, the first step of conversion. First step of conversion is the give to get freebie. So that's where we're at. We're giving them, now we're going for the second stage of conversion, which is the one that everybody likes the most, the one where we're trying to sell them something, get money. So we're sending it to them in this autoresponder. We're going to go back here to the thank you page. It says, while you wait for your ebook to arrive via email, we recommend you to click continue below to learn more about our LifeLine hybrid breeding station. Bingo. Now we've broken open the big secret. We're trying to sell you something. Now we are trying to sell you something. But this is a very soft approach. This is not something where it automatically sends them to the sales page. And what you'll see here is that we've kind of just now introduced, because we've got what we really, really, really want in that first stage. Back to our little analogy, we've kind of had the coffee. We find that there is some liking to each other here. Let's talk about a dinner date now. Now that's where we're kind of heading with this whole sales page. But we're not ready to just say, hey, let's bypass the dinner date and the movies. Let's go to Vegas for the weekend. Maybe a little too pushy after coffee, right? Same kind of thing here. We don't want to just send them directly to a big, long, drawn-out, crazy sales page that they're not ready for yet. We haven't built enough trust. We haven't built enough anything. Once they get that book, reading that book, the authority, they're going to start understanding. And now, along with that, there's a lot of other things we can do in that autoresponder. We can drop some videos to them, newsletters to them, check out our latest blog posts. We've got them now. The most important part is that we've got their name and email address. We're engaging, and we're going to continually engage on that third part of the funnel. It's a never-ending, continuous cycle of engagement, because we're going to continue to show them all the time that we are the authority, remind them that they like us, remind them who we are and that they need us, and then drop little bits to them as far as what we want to end up selling them down. All right, so here we're going to go ahead and click to continue. And when we get here, this is going to be the sales page. Now, I took a video off of Jake's page. Jake and I are going to put together a video for the actual product, specific to the product. This one's kind of for the product. It's only about 8 or 9 seconds. So the point that you want to get here is that this video right here, as you'll see, there's not much more to the sales page. We're keeping it very, very simple. We're still trying to stay with that soft approach. But the video content is what's going to inform and pitch. It's not a long, drawn-out text one. Like I told you last week, I'm a big fan of the media. I want images, I want video. I do not like green eggs and ham. Just kidding. I do not like all that text. I don't want to sit there and scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll. Now, that's my own personal preference on a soft sales page like this. If you're going to have a bunch of that, that's okay, because we're missing some elements on this for sure. There's testimonials that we're missing. There's branding, showing the people that we've dealt business with before that we're missing, because this is a soft sales page. This is a quick introduction to a product, see if we can snag a couple sales, but we're really not to that point yet. Now, if we were, we would be going back over the sales page, the anatomy of it like we did last week, and making sure all of those points were included. This is also important for people that don't have, if Jake doesn't have any breeders yet, and I have no idea, but even breeders might understand other breeders, okay? But from my practice, where I'm looking at, I don't know the difference between this breeder who's the top-notch breeder in the world versus any other breeder. If Jake ever had any of his stuff shown on or brought up on any of the media outlets, the news, those are logos that you would want to put up there to say as seen on or as heard on. If he did an interview with Fox or something like that, he can use that. It's another form of perception-based marketing, I like to call it, which is showing he's the authority, he's the man, he knows all about this breeding stuff and the nursing stations and all that based on what he's showing that he's been a part of. So because we don't use that right now in the soft stage and we don't have that right now to deal with, this is why we're doing a shortened abridged version of it. We're just trying to make a quick attempt to get them to buy. So the video's got to explain it, got to do it all. If I click here, now, this is where we're going to run into a little bit of a hang-up, okay? Which is good. We like hang-ups. We like working through them. Jake designed and did his own webpage. Put a lot of time, effort, and energy in it. I have no idea even to this day what platform he built it on. Not sure. Doesn't matter. The software that we're using right now that I do have a link for you for, once you, all of these pages I built today, less than 2 hours, putting them all together. And I'm going to show you the software in just a minute to show you how easy it really is to build this. Now that you're seeing the final version, I'm going to go back and show you what I started with so you can put it all together. Anybody who is listening to this now or in the future and you want to have a sales funnel, this tool, the software is an absolute, you got to have it. So I'm going to provide you that link so that you are in on the same stuff that we're in on building these things now. You can build them yourself, not a problem. You got WordPress, which is our favorite. That's what we build on at Brick Road. WordPress and this tool, the software tool, actually has an integration. MailChimp is integrated with it as well. That's why you saw when I clicked the buttons, it went seamlessly to MailChimp's form, put it into MailChimp when I showed you that. There's a ton of integrations that this thing integrates with. So what we run to the problem with here is when you click this cart, number one, it takes quite a while because I think Jake's servers might be a little bit slow getting through the cart part, which is totally normal, not a big deal. Anytime you can integrate, it's going to be much better, more seamless, quicker, and it's actually going to, when I say integrate, it's going to actually take this product page, this cart page, and it's going to pull it into the page that you're working with. Okay, so much different and much better page like this that is taking quite a while to load, and once you get there, you now got to switch systems, so to speak, and I'll show you what I'm talking about as far as the analytics piece. And now Jake would have to switch over to his bulldogpuppyforsale.com back end to see this page, LifeLine Hybrid Station Wide Package page, to see the analytics. And now he's got to add those to the analytics from the software I'm talking about. to add those together to see how many people along that metric that we were talking about, how many fell out, how many got to the sales or the cart page and fell through, didn't do it. So we're going to work on that little by little with Jake over the next several months to update his site. And I'm going to one of these documents move into WordPress so that it integrates very well. But that's not super important right now, because the part that we have left after this conversion, we're here, there's at the cart, there's the product. People are either going to buy it or they're not. It's okay, whichever way they did. I know that sounds kind of crazy, right? It's okay if they don't buy. Because why? Right, because we've already got their name, their email address, and they're engaged and still able to communicate with them. Maybe this wasn't the product that they absolutely desired to have. Jake's got a bunch of products on there. So this allows him to get into his site, get into his cart, get into his store. So if it's not the product, they can move around, and we can still track that and see it. Now, the other thing that where this becomes the problem is because we're not integrated now. So whether they buy or not, when you go to add cart and you either leave it, there's a leave page offer that can be put in through this software. Also, there's an upsell. Let's say they went ahead and bought the product. Great. Now there's an upsell page. So where this gets a little goofy, and now this is why I'm jumping instead of it going seamlessly through, we're going to jump into the software here. We're going to pretend, optimistically, they bought it. They bought that. Now, we're going to take them into a special offer, an upsell. Okay, you always want to have an upsell, and you, quite frankly, you want to have a downsell too. Let's say they didn't buy it, and they go up there, click the X, and they leave the page. There's a pop-up in here that I'll show you. You can design something that downgrades. Say they didn't want the this is a perfect example with Jake's. Is he went for the big dog package, $269. It's got like 11 or 12 feeding stations. It's the Cadillac. Well, there's a smaller version for your hobby breeder. I think it's maybe 6 or 7 stations or something like that in it for a little smaller litter, and it's half the price. And maybe that's the level that the people wanted to be at. Well, they get to the page that's the checkout page and go, oh my God, $270, not quite what I was thinking. Love to have it, don't have the money. So they go ahead, click out of it, forget it. Whoop, pops up. Hey, before you leave, let us introduce to you the smaller version of what you're looking at. That made it right on the head. That may be like a $149 offer that is right in the wheelhouse of what the people want. And then instead of losing out on a sale completely, Jake just downgrades them, tells them something that was more what they're looking to have. And then what else does Jake know now? Well, Jake knows what this customer was all about. Now, as he continues to build his funnel out and use MailChimp for future offers and all that, he could segment that list out to say, hey, these people are not in the top line, top money spending type of group that he's got as far as past customers go. You can keep segmenting and splitting that list out to drill down even further and further and further into your buyer behavior. So somebody like that, you know, if you had a $1,000 product, you know, you may send it to them, but you may try to keep right along that same path of the $149 product line. That, you know, you just found out too that they're probably a hobby breeder instead of a commercial type breeder. So now you know a little bit more about them. Every step of the way, that's our goal. Analyze and figure out further and further and further what and who we're dealing with so that we can better customize the messaging that they get. It just makes for higher conversion rates and more money made in the long run. So here's our special offer. Jake loves this one, I'm sure. For a very limited time, you could have Jake for a week. That's right. Jake will fly to you, spend a full week, Monday to Friday. He will teach you everything he knows about breeding bullies. Now, if you're interested in that offer, there's a picture of Jake. That's really Jake. He's quite a stud, isn't he? Now, you're interested. Wonderful. Why am I putting in my email again? Because this is another level that we're engaging with. Now, if they purchase, like we optimistically said they did, they also put in their address and all that information that we have now too. So you're going to click send me the info now, because we're going to get back with you with this. We didn't really want to tell them that this is a $5,000 package yet. We're going to give them the information. We're going to actually have a salesperson from Jake's staff call and try to cinch this. This is the biggest thing he sells. It's a private one-on-one, teach him how to breed. It's a big, big thing. We don't want to necessarily, in this case, let this be sold here online. Jake's preference was to have somebody from staff or even himself call and try to lock down a $5,000 deal. So we ask them for their email so we can set a time to talk to them about it. Thank you for visiting us today. Your email is received, blah, 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 blah. You get the picture. So we're going to take a quick break, and during that break, we're going to get prepared to come in here and check out this cool software I've been telling you about so that I can show you exactly how I build all this, because that right there completes that part of the funnel, the 2D version, so to speak, of the funnel. We've made it all the way through, and I'm going to ask this question and answer it after the break. Be thinking, what was the most important part that we've gotten so far out of this? What's the takeaway for the halfway point here so far? We'll see how many of you get it right. Be back with you in just a second. All right. We had a little technicality there. I'm trying to do a Blog Talk Radio simulcast with this Google Hangout, which has been nothing challenging for me today. I heard a little something about 5-10 minutes into the show, and lo and behold, that's what it was saying that somehow I got kicked off of the Blog Talk Radio line. And so forget the commercial, forget the break. We're going to bust right through it. And let's go to answer this question. So, takeaways. What is the most important thing in your opinion? I guess it's your opinion, so there is no wrong answer, but I'm going to tell you what my opinion is. And that is, you should have taken away the fact that no matter what happens with this funnel, we got the most important part in the conversion process, which is the name and the email, and they're in our email list. I'm sure most of you have all heard of list building techniques. Build your list, build your tribe, blah, 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 blah. You hear it all the time because it's probably the most important thing in the funnel to begin with. Because once you have them at that point, the world is somewhat your oyster. No matter what product you're selling, whether it's a service that you're selling, like Jake flying to him for $5K, it could be any number of things now. And what do we know about marketing? What's the most expensive way to market? Is to the person that you're marketing to and targeting every single time. You don't want to have to start at the top of this funnel every single time with John Smith. At some point, you want to just go directly to John Smith for free, being email, or once we get to the power editor section, I'll show you the really cool thing called retargeting. Those of you know what I'm talking about. You know how awesome that is. But you don't want to go back to John up at the top. You want to go to John in the middle. Hey, John, check it out, man. We can come out with a new book. You know, it's a free VIP pass. You know, make them feel even better. They're part of your tribe now, man. They're your following. They're your boy. You don't want to treat them or spend the money like you don't know them. You've already passed that point of attraction and captivating and all that. They're engaged now. What you're trying to build right now is a tribe of loyal followers. You want people that will engage other people like them, right? What's the cheapest and the best marketing in the world, even back in the 1900s? Word of mouth. Now we do it on social. You want shares, you want likes, you want people to talk about you, you want other bloggers, other people that are writing to talk about your product, put links in there. Well, how do you get there? You build a tribe of people that know you're the authority, like you, think you're cool, know what you want, and will be more than happy to talk to another breeder in this case, another dog lover, another whatever about your products. So how do we get there? We get there by continuing to believe and doing the give to get. So you're giving a free VIP thing. You're giving another piece of content. You're giving another thing. You're giving a coupon. You're giving to your list of everything and anything that you can do. The best advice I can give you about all of this sales funnel stuff is come from every point of creativity with the mindset, let me repeat, with the mindset of I don't care how much money I make off of this. I want to help people understand what I'm all about. Because nothing sells better than passion for what you do. As a matter of fact, well, we'll save that. for another time. Passion in what you do, it comes through, it screams volumes, give to get. So with that being said, we're going to talk a little bit now more about the software that we talked about. So to answer that question, make sure you guys got the answer. The answer is the first conversion point. That's the most important part. The world's our oyster. Here we go. This software is called leadpages.net. I have a link for you. And yes, it is an affiliate link. So if you're going to sign up for this, click this link. That way, Jeremy gets paid some. We all like to make money, right? So you can go back here to our page that you got here on, or you got here on, which was brickroadmedia.com/cast. It's somewhere here. You had it. It's got the banner at the top that says, I want this software, something of that nature. Go back there, click that, get in lead pages that way. That way, I make some money, which is awesome. It's called an affiliate link, and guess what? Yes, we are going to do an episode on affiliate marketing here coming up soon. So here we are. We're at the very beginning. We're going to go ahead and create page. Here's all the pages, okay? The pages that we just did that I just showed you. But I want to show you how it starts. So we're going to kind of spend the next 15 minutes walking through this so that you can get a little bit more acclimated with it. I'm not going to show you everything in here. Why? Because I don't know how to do everything in here. I just signed up with this about a week or two ago and I only used it twice. What I know, which is what I've been able to build to this point, and there's some really other cool stuff I've been reading about. There's lead boxes, lead links. These are some cool things I read, but I haven't used them, so I'm not going to talk to you about them yet. So right here, I use this first template. Should look familiar. We're going to go ahead and click Use This Template. This is called the Perfect Squeeze page. You're going to pick the industry. I'm just going to hit No Thanks. They're figuring out conversion rates and all that. So you want to help them out. Don't be that guy, the one that doesn't want to give up any information. Sure, count me in, accounting, finance, whatever. It's really pets. There's a pet category in here. All right, so I'm in. Now, first thing you want to do is go up here and name this page for two reasons. One, it helps you separate them out, know which ones you're editing, and come to that dashboard. And secondly, it'll automatically take this when you go to publish it. I'm going to show you the cool publishing thing. That's why I dropped the WordPress in on your. If you're not using WordPress, consider using WordPress. There's other ones out there. Yeah, there's WordPress. Let's use WordPress. Yeah. So this is the perfect squeeze page, according to them. I like it. We used it. Up here, I took this out. Why? Because Jake didn't have Today or O'Reilly or Fox or Good Morning America. So all you got to do is click it. This is the easiest thing in the world. You click it, and you hit Hidden. Now it's hidden. We hit OK. Now it centers your logo. Bada bing, bada bang, right? Pretty cool. You change all of these bullet points. If you add one, like I did, it adds a fourth check mark for you. Pretty cool. Now, these might be the perfect pages, this, that, and the other, but you always want to customize. You don't want anything looking like it's something that Lead Page is built for you. All right, so go up here and change. Free report reveals, we changed it. Download now, you can change that if you want. You can change all this stuff. All you have to do is click it, or you can go down here to the content pieces and click it, and it will, like the header box right here, text, as seen on, which I already hid, so that's not a good one to click on. You can click on them this way too. Up here, there's some fancy smancy stuff here. SEO settings for search engine optimization. You can do it there, or you can do it within WordPress. I choose to stay in WordPress to do it. Tracking code. You can track deeper analytics with that. Style settings. You can go and change the colors, change everything. The background, the board, or the box border, the text background, the button colors. This thing is like super intense. You can change any of that stuff. For you that are more graphically designy, so take you to the wonderland of design options. Hang on just a second, I clicked the wrong button here. So let's go back in here, back to our little side panel. Click the arrow. See, I clicked the wrong place. Bear with me. My finger is a little hack-like. And of course, what happens when you do that? You don't save it. start over. So we're going to start over. Hang in there, everybody. We're almost through it. And this is the coolest piece of the whole day, so hang tight. So I jumped over a couple things, so maybe this is why it kicked me out. Here's all your options, your template options. You got all 70. Sales page 15. In pages. So if you're wanting just the opt-in from like the book, you can separate it out. There's 35 opt-in pages. The thing I really love about this software, a lot of these have video. Love video. Okay, let's check this one out. This one looks kind of cool. There's some with timers in there, which is kind of cool. I tried to use it. It was a little complicated, so I ditched it, found another one real fast. We're going to pets. We're going to count this in. Here we go. Okay, name, blah, blah, blah. Oh my Lord, this is slow. This is that really fast business Comcast internet now. This stuff that's 10 times faster than your home. Yeah, right. That is the biggest bait and switch in America. Here we go. It's pulling up. I know everybody's on the edge of your seat, aren't you? Ah, there we go. Look how cool this is. Should have used this one. I like this one actually better. Anyway, industry, opt-in, form integration. Let's go to the integrations real quick because that's what we were using with MailChimp. See here, integrate form with MailChimp. You can go back to your integration settings that are in your home settings and pick from a bunch of these different ones. You can integrate with GoToWebinar. You can use Facebook registration, which is kind of cool. Each piece of this you're gonna be able to edit. So you can go in and edit these pictures, edit this get instant access. You can change that word. You can change every bit of this stuff to make it completely your own. Now we want to stay somewhat within the template, and they kind of make you do that. You can't really go into these that I'm aware of yet and put, let's say I wanted a video right here. Not so much. Go back and find a template that's got a video about where you want it, because that's not really what this software's set up to do. If you want to be that custom about it and you want to kind of do your own sales page, then that's cool. You can do that. Let's do it within WordPress, though, and get a web designer that knows what they're doing in code. I'm doing this for the non-coders, for the people that are like me, that want a squeeze page, want a landing page, want an opt-in, want all that, but don't know how to do it, don't want to do it, don't want to pay somebody to do it right now. They just want to get it out there, get it going, and start getting a funnel developed. So this, as it would flow in our CAS system, is like a funnel, sales funnel 101. Are there other elements to sales funnel? Sure. Are there more intense things? Sure. Can we dig down even deeper with analytics? Sure. This series, this webisode right now is for kind of the rookie, the 101 people that are just now getting started with it, getting themselves introduced to it, and I don't want to overwhelm you with a bunch of stuff. I want to keep this on a level that's easy to digest. All right, so let's take a look at this template thing real quick again, because I kind of jumped through that pretty quickly. I want at least for you to see all the things that are in here. Why? You can see it now before you have to go in and sign up to see it. They've got a really killer landing page. If you click on that link I told you to, it'll take you to that thing you need to know about this. But hey, why not give you the back, the behind the scenes look for free before you get into it? Okay, so you got sales pages, opt-in pages, webinar pages. Webinars are huge, guys. If you got a cool product, cool service, you want to educate people, there's nothing better to engage with people that need educated than someone who gets on a webinar and educates them, right? Thank you pages are big. Upsell pages, launch pages, if you're getting ready to launch a new book or launch something, and then the pre-start pages, the ones that we were talking about, integration, right? And then here's like a special offer. Purchase lead pages a day and get a 30-minute consultation with Clay. They do webinars here, by the way, too, guys, that are supposed to be really good. I haven't been able to watch it yet, but they teach you how to use this much better than what I'm doing right now, trying to give you the fast little sneak peek. All right, so Write, Publish, Repeat is a book offer, it looks like here. There's tons more. As I'm scrolling through, you'll see some of these are some of the biggest internet marketers have contributed to this, like Italian, Frank Kern. Frank Kern for a long time was huge in the internet marketing world. The guy knows conversion for sure. He's given a long form squeeze page. It's to each his own. None of these are the wrong ones necessarily. None of them are the right ones. Which one resonates with you? Which one do you want to try? Which one do you want to use? Because guess what? If it doesn't convert and you don't like it, look, there's 70 total pages in here. Pick another one. Once we delve into this, I'm sure there's probably some custom stuff too, so we'll get to that at some point. But for right now, let's just do a quick recap. Let's go to our 45-minute sales funnel slide or image that you had from last week if you have it handy. If not, close your eyes and pretend you have it in front of you as I go through it. Attract stage. Did we attract? Yes, we attracted with our Facebook ad, with our Facebook post that went all across social media, with our blog post and all that. Did we captivate them? Well, we targeted it. We sent it to bulldog breeders. We sent it to dog breeders. We sent it to people that it should be interesting to. We didn't just sit there and do the shotgun approach where we were sending it to yoga instructors or dentists. We sent it to people that should have some interest at some level, whether it be commercial breeding or a more novice breeding. We're sending it to the right people. Did we engage with them? Yeah, we're giving them a free book, a really good book with tons of good content, stuff that if you were going to do a one-on-one, Jake started you $5,000. He's going to teach you some of that, a lot of it in a book. So that's very engaging. And are we focused on the give to get? Absolutely. Every stage, guys, every single stage, every element, every drill down, everywhere. Am I doing this to give to get? Am I giving good content? If the answer is no, go back to it. Would you get it? What would you think if you read it? Share it with people. Share it with friends, college people like us. Hey, do me a favor, read this. Tell me if it strikes any nerve at all or if it's a boring read. Not everybody's a writer. Continue to tweak, continually edit, continually make it better. The better your content, the more engagement you have. The more engagement you have, the bigger your tribe. The bigger your tribe, the more you sell. The more you sell, the more you make, blah, 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 blah. You get it. So we're engaging, we're captivating, we're attracting. Are we converting? How many stages of conversion are there with this thing that we're talking about? 2. First stage is getting them opt-in, quote unquote. The opt-in stage, they're opting into your world. They're coming within your web. All right? Now that they're here, you've got them captive. You're going to continue to market to them all kinds of give to get, all kinds of product offers, all kinds of engagement things. Hey, share this on Facebook. Tweet this for me. Hey, would you share this, please? Hey, check out this new video, and once you're done and you really like it, can you share it? If you ask them, I read a really cool thing the other day that the engagement statistics are somewhere like 3.7 times higher when you ask in the text portion to do what you want them to do. So picture huge, right? What do you want them to do with that page? Click it, then say, hey, click this. If you want them to share it, then say, hey, bud, share this for me, would you? Because remember, you're talking to them. You've already given, and you continually give all this content. Law of reciprocity says you're allowed to ask for something in return. And in this case, what is it? Whatever you want. Share, like, buy. Yeah. Go ahead, buy. Tell them that's exactly what you want. I've given you a bunch of stuff, but I want you to buy something now. It's okay. People will be more than to spend money. Once they have engaged, you've given enough, they know you're the authority, they know you're the trusted one in this space. They'll buy gladly. So second stage of conversion, well, we just kind of talked about the buy. Are they buying? Send them to the sales page. Continue to track, tweak, and then next week we're going to be getting way into the analytics piece, which I know everybody's excited about, right? I am. That's the most important piece of this, of all of it, to be honest with you. So there'll be a lot of good stuff. You want to definitely tune in next week for that. And then the upsell piece. The upsell is kind of optional. I mean, it's definitely part of the sales funnel process for beginners. It would be okay with me if you didn't do the upsell, if you just did start with the basics, the give to get, the opt-in, the freebie, and then the sales page. We'll go back, work analytics on all that. Then we can the abandoned cart page, the downsell page, the upsell page, and all that. Let's not forget the bottom, the nurture. What are we nurturing? We're nurturing the continued relationship. We've just met, shook hands, had coffee, blah, 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 blah. Now we got to nurture it. We got to take them to the next step. We got to get them eventually to go to Vegas with us, like we talked about, right? So how do we do that? Get. We continue to give. So this is starting to conclude that second piece, next week's analytics, right? Not quite as flashy, not quite as fancy, twice the importance. Then the next one will be on a completely different topic. We're going to figure out what that is and start breaking down each of these sections and talking a little bit more about conversion. If this is interesting to you and you want more and you want to be part of the drill down to the extreme, basic level and advanced level know-how, you want to go to our cast page. That's brickroadmedia.com/cast. It's $29.95 a month, ladies and gentlemen. It will not break the pocketbook. There is more content and more knowledge in that one membership than I'm going to go out there on a limb and say that you could possibly get anywhere for that kind of money. You're getting experts in every single element of digital marketing that are bringing their know-how and their knowledge on top of my partner, Jack Humphrey, who's a legend in the internet marketing space. Some of this content is going to be in there, even drilled down further. It's just a ton. I can't talk enough about how much you're going to get for $30 a month. So if you like what you hear here, get over to Cast, sign up, become part of the community, start learning. You're going to even get a certificate for every little module you pass. So if you have a boss and you want to really, really impress them, get in, spend 30, show them that their 30 is going to a good cause, and show them that you're passing and learning about how to make their business that they're paying you to market even better. So that's what's coming up, and then we'll be coming back with Jake. We're going to get the technical issues worked out, so he's part of this next time, obviously. We're going to launch this, and somewhere in that 30, 45 days, we got some work to do to get this thing launched live with the book and all that. So somewhere in that 30 to 45 day range, we're going to check the first round of analytics, see how things are converting, see how he's doing, and then we're going to come bring him back again for the second time to see how this entire campaign, how it went start to finish, look at the analytics, look at everything, and see if the proof's in the pudding. Does this really work? You know, wouldn't expect you guys to continue to listen to me and learn from me if none of this worked, right? All right, so until next week, all happy building. Go over to that button, get this lead pages account. It's the coolest tool so far I've seen, and it'll save you a fortune when hiring web coders, web programmers, and developers to build all this for you. So go check it out. Any questions, you can always reach me at jeremy@brickroadmedia.com. And for cast members, post a question, engage with us on the wall, the cast community. And Jack or I, one or some of the other, will get back with you and answer your question. So till next week, I'll have a great next week, and we'll see you then.